First one. What was your scariest moment during childbirth?
Ooh,
So we'll start with you, Desiree.
gosh. I feel like I've had two polar opposite experience. And so for me, I had a very traumatized birth experience with the triplets. I had a C-section and I hemorrhaged and almost lost my life.
Oh.
So for me, that was very, very scary and a lot to work through post-birth, all those emotions. And like, it was really, really difficult for me. And then fast forward 5 years later with my daughter, I had a VBAC and it was the most redeeming birth experience ever. So it's pretty amazing how no two births are the same, you know?
I love that.
No 4 births are the same.
Yes, yeah.
Grace, what about you?
Well, I had a C-section and that caught me really by surprise. I always say that I read the book, cover to cover, and I skipped the C-section part on purpose. I was like, this is not happening to me. I can advocate for myself. I am not getting a C-section. And I just remember when the doctor said, you're going to get an emergency C-section. There's meconium. Is that the right word? I can't remember anymore. I guess that's when the baby passes some stool. And they needed to get her out of there. And I just remember crying and calling my mom and I can't believe I'm getting a C-section. And it just felt like right then and there, after laboring for 18 plus hours, that I just have to get this done. And my book was nowhere in sight, that baby book that I had dog-eared and highlighted. So you just get on with it, really. Thankfully, everything turned out all right. I had another C-section with my youngest daughter. And by that point, I was a pro. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. So you would embrace it.
So you would say you were most fearful when your plan went awry.
Exactly. And they take you into this really bright room with about 15 people. And it just feels very scary in the moment.
I've never been anywhere so bright as a C-section room. It's the brightest place. You're so right. I never really thought about that. It's like blinding.
It was. And I remember when I lay down, I remember just seeing this like metallic ceiling. Yep. And I could sort of make out what was going on and seeing red and just being like, oh my God, this is a major operation that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wonder how we all go in, well, I didn't have a C-section, but everyone that I know that's had it, it is such a scary, scary experience just because A, you're going into surgery, but B, it's not necessarily what you had planned. I wonder if there's a way to prepare for that. There's just to be more open to the idea that it could happen and it happens to so many people.
I was lucky when I had my emergency C-section, same thing. I was losing fluid and the heart rate was going down and they were like, you gotta go. But I had this amazing Brazilian nurse walking me down to the op room and she was like, oh honey, don't worry about it. Everyone in Brazil gets C-sections. You're going to be great. All the men love you for it. So just don't even worry about it.
She was touting a tight badge.
She was like basically saying, girl, you're going to stay tight. And don't even sweat it. And I was, honestly, it was like the first positive thing anyone said to me in like 36 hours. And I was like, all right. Okay.
Well, so you just answered
what
the
you
question.
needed to hear.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So funny.
Well, I don't think you can prepare for it as much as make peace with it on the other side.
Agree.
Because, again, they hand you this baby and you gotta get going. You gotta, do your thing. So you can't really, you don't get a lot of time to actually process it. So on the other end is where you can, just heal and be okay with it.